so about me, I go as a producer, I go by the name Black Samurai. As a rapper, I go by the name Carnival Kid, and as a teaching artist, I go by the name Charles Michelle, which is my family given name. I don't really like the name Charles Michelle. I don't really like the name Charles, but that's because I'm the fifth Charles in a long line of Charleses. So I think I've always, as a kid growing up and as I developed my identity, I want to find a way to separate myself from that. Not because I don't like my name, but more of just to give myself an identity that I felt I wanted to achieve as an artist. So originally, people would, when I was younger, I had a hip hop band called Floopy Head, and the MC nicknamed me Charlie Brown. And it was cool, and to kind of nod to the classic Peanuts character and Charles Schultz or whatever. But eventually, I found that didn't really fit for me, and also for people who know Busta Rhymes and his Flipmo Squad, one of his friends is Charlie Brown, and like he's not very prolific, but he's out there. So I didn't want to have his name either. So the Black Samurai persona kind of developed because I'm very into martial arts. I've studied karate, and I'm currently studying Tai Chi, and one day I hope to study Kento and all these like sword fighting techniques. But I grew up watching martial arts movies, and more so than the fighting, I always liked the training montages where you realize for someone to become an amazing fighter, they had to do a lot of training, and it took a lot of discipline. So for me, what I want to achieve in music is a level of discipline where I can execute anything that I want to. And a samurai, in my opinion, represents that, because the samurai, as their natural position, was very stoic and very, quiet and very passive. And you only realize that they were extremely dangerous when they had to be, when they had to show you their skill, and their skill was usually, super precise and, deadly. So as a producer, and as a person, I'm a very relaxed guy, and I'm a very kind of subtle and unassuming guy, but when my beats come on, I want you to be like, whoa, so as in, I'm cutting you up, I'm cutting these samples up, I'm doing what I gotta do, and I want to have not only the discipline of a samurai, but the ferocity and like the power when it comes to my production that a samurai kind of has when they're, sword fighting. So that's kind of how that persona started. And I don't know, there's just a trend right now with people like spelling things weird, so I didn't want to be like so on the head with like the fact that I'm black, and samurai is a Japanese tradition, so I just I changed the spelling to put the V in there, which is kind of like an upside down A, and I took the C out, so just to kind of separate it. But yeah, I don't know, my persona with that is just about discipline. Whereas as a rapper, Carnival Kid is a reference to the fact that I was born on Mardi Gras, which is one of the traditional carnival days throughout the Caribbean, and it really comes from the French carnival. So I was born on Mardi Gras in New Orleans is our big carnival day. And so somebody suggested when I was first deciding to be a rapper, oh, you should call yourself Carnival Kid, you were born that day. And I think now, as I'm starting to develop that music, I realize that Carnival Kid is like my more extroverted side. That's my superhero side. That's like me at like my most carefree and just most alive. And Black Samurai represents the discipline that I hope to have in my life. So for me, it's important to separate all these things. And that Charles Michelle is who I am. So Black Samurai, just like Carnival Kid, is a persona. So as I release music as these people, it's to understand that this is the artistry, it's not the person. So for me, I needed to separate those things so that it could be clear that who I am as a person is only partially reflected in these different artistic personas. But I'm still a work in progress.